This is Beyond the Veil with Norman Meredith.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Norman Meredith coming with you again with another episode of Beyond the Veil. Tonight coming from Pickens, South Carolina, and tonight we're going to talk about portals. Now, when you think about portals, some people might think of a doorway or an entranceway. Those would be considered a portal. But there's also another means of a portal, and this is someone might say it's a paranormal or a supernatural or a metaphysical portal where things come through or people come through from another dimension or place. You know, and some may even consider that a wormhole type wormhole opening, which would be another name for a portal. If you've ever seen the TV series or movie known as Stargate, you notice they walk through a giant portal. Well, tonight we're going to cover some things and listen to a story of a woman that had an encounter with three women that came through a portal and some questionable events that go on. Was it AI or did it actually happen? So I'm going to leave these up to you, and occasionally we might get a few background comments from Ed, who's lurking in the background as always, and who knows, we might hear a thing or two from him as well. Alright, so we're going to get ready. He's going to start rolling stuff up here in a few minutes, and like I said, we're going to talk about these mysterious things called portals, because growing up, my grandfather, for some strange reason, knew a lot about portals, and he once told me a portal could appear at any time, at any place, and generally it would form, in most cases, he said, in a doorway that was already pre-existing. He said it could open up, you'd walk, and you could walk through it and be gone, or it'd open up and something would come out, and it just happened very quickly. And we got on the subject of, we were discussing an article that we both read one time back in the 70s about the missing flight 13 that disappeared over Bermuda Triangle. And what he told me was a lot of the activity that disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle was related to portals. And I know in one show we talked about, there was a article I read back in the 70s about an aircraft carrier, and it may have been around the same time that they're using promo for the final countdown, but an aircraft carrier supposedly ran up against the portal but couldn't get through it because it was too big, you know? And so, like I say, when Ed hears just a second, he's going to be firing up something, and we're going to see what's going on here with our first one. This is going to show an image. A woman's talking about something with a wall. We're not going to be listening, but watch the red arrow that's going to pop up here. You'll notice that there's a black object in the background, okay? And then this person just walked out of there. See, out of that black object, they walked out. There's nothing, they didn't come from the other side. They just walked out of nowhere. It's like, bamf, they're there. They just came out of nowhere. I mean, it was just amazing. This is an example of a portal, okay, where people just appear. And what we're going to do is listen next to this young lady. I think she says she was down from Texas. We're at 3 a.m. going to Walmart. And yeah, I believe there's a lot of portal activity around Walmart at 3 a.m. where three women appeared out of nowhere, and they didn't look quite too human to her. And she's going to tell her story about what happened with these three ladies that appeared out of nowhere. All right, Dad's going to get ready to pop it up here and there we go.
That there are portals at Walmart, and as far-fetched as that sound, I can 100% confirm that she is in fact right. I shared this story a while back on here, but for those of you guys who haven't heard it, I'll give you a quick little rundown. I was working night shift around this time. On this day, I happened to get out of work early, which meant it was about 3 a.m. 3 a.m. was my favorite time to go grocery shopping because I knew there was no one at Walmart. So I pulled up to the Walmart parking lot. There's no other cars there, which was a little odd, but I didn't really think much of it because it was 3 a.m. As I'm making my way out of my car and walking towards the entrance, these three ladies just randomly appear out of nowhere. They just started walking in with me. Thought it was a little weird, but at first I'm like, well, maybe they just walked here. I don't know. When I looked over at these 3 females, it looked as if they had crawled out of a sewer. Like, it was something that I had never seen before. But again, wasn't gonna judge. I decided to kind of just go my way, and I went their way. As I'm walking in, I noticed there's a person at the cash register, but there's nowhere else. So I'm still making my way towards the back when I noticed that these 3 girls are now following me. At first, I was just like, oh, they must just be going the same way. But I noticed that they're like kind of grouped together, like whispering to each other. And at one point, I hear one of them says my name. And I'm like freaking out. I'm like, how the hell did they know my name? Man, I had just gotten out of the hospital, so I check and I'm like, make sure I'm not wearing my ID, and I wasn't. So I'm like, how do they know my name? So I'm like, okay, this is weird. I decided to hide in like the women's department to try to like lose them so they would just go away and leave me alone. As I'm like in the women's department, kind of like bent down, I see one at the corner of my eye come around and goes, there she is. The minute she said that, the other 2 started to laugh, but this like eerie laugh, and I kicked into like a fight or flight mode where I knew that I was in danger and I needed to get as far away from these people as I possibly could. I decided to run to the front of the store where the cash register person had been when I walked in, but when I went over there was no one in sight. I ended up just throwing my cart to the side, like whatever I was buying could wait, and I decided to run for the front door. As I'm running out, I see these 3 ladies like following me closely. I make it to my car, I get in, I shut the door, and I kind of just like peel out of the parking lot. When I look back through like the rear view mirror, I no longer see them, even though they were just chasing me like right behind me. I drive off and I make it all the way home, but on my way home I keep hearing like whispering and laughing coming from my back seat. Once I make it home, I have the worst freaking nightmares and like sleep paralysis. Like, these ladies continue to like mess with me and like taunt me for like days after that experience. And that'll just happen for me walking into Walmart at 3 in the morning.
All right, folks, what do you think? Do you think this was a supernatural encounter she had with some mythical creatures or mystical creatures that were after her? Or did she have an overactive imagination and these ladies took advantage of it because maybe they're talking about someone that has a similar name and they seen how she was reacting and they decided to be cruel and chase after her?
I'm thinking that they mistook her for her grandmother from 100 years ago, and they took the wrong portal and they ended up in a place, and they're like, hey, this person is her, you know, because like sometimes looks skip a generation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I look more like my grandfather,
Right.
you know, than my mother would.
Right.
And
I'd hope so.
well, you know, I mean, there's similar features, but you know, maybe that was it. Maybe they mistook her and they went through a different one in a different time frame.
You know, you speak in portals.
Because you're named after your relatives sometimes.
There was an event that occurred in the Civil War, I believe it was. The soldiers had set up a tent. 2 or 3 soldiers were in this tent, and they disappeared. There was a flash of lightning or something that night, and these 2 to 3 soldiers disappeared. Then many years later, it's now a cornfield, okay? And these 2 to 3 soldiers appear years later
Yeah.
in a cornfield.
Yeah.
You ever heard that story?
Yeah.
And like a portal occurred, or maybe they fell through a rift in time.
I didn't see a DeLorean anywhere.
No, I did not either. But it's just, people talk about these, and believe it or not, folks, I went looking to find information on this, and any other time I can find all the information in the world when I'm not looking. I go looking for the things about pictures of people disappearing or appearing from portals, and I can't find jack. I mean, I've seen pictures where people are literally appearing out of nowhere, or what looks like a portal opening up, and people are either casually walking through it or being sucked in. Now, if you remember the New Year's Eve Miami event from about a year ago, there was, now after reviewing some film, there was 2 to 3 portals that opened up, and at least 2 people were pulled into portals. Did you know that, Ed?
No idea.
Yeah, 2 of them were pulled in. I've seen one portal picture where it opened up and it looked like downtown Beijing or something, okay? And this Chinese woman was like a ball of energy come out and just grabbed her and pulled her in. It was like, okay, it's either really good CGI or a good AI rendering, or she pissed off the demon lord on the other side. Now, Ed's going to bring up another one here in just a minute, and this one's got me scratching my head because the quality of the picture is very, very good, but it makes me wonder, is this CGI creation or AI rendition, or is this something that's actually occurring? Now, here we go. We're going to watch this a minute. Now, this is supposed to be a portal possibly opening up. Now, there looked like a UFO out there, maybe carrying a little electricity behind it. Then it just goes all sparkly. Or was that a bird? Could it have been a thunderbird? But it just looked like it created a giant portal. So, what is your thoughts, folks? I mean, to me, first time I'd seen it, I didn't see the bird. I thought I was looking at a rift or something opening. But it looked like a bird now that I've seen it on a bigger screen. I don't know. What's your thoughts? Do you think this is manipulated by an AI or CGI, or do you think it actually occurred that something like this opened up out and over the ocean? Now, because over the ocean, it's a beautiful place to create all sorts of anomalies. And oceans are big places to hide. You know what I'm saying, Ed? You can hide a lot of crap out there, especially under it.
Oh, yeah. Or in Antarctica.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me started on Antarctica.
Maybe we need to do former NASA astronauts who have flown to Antarctica and came back and said, I seen things that no one should have ever seen.
I've heard of that.
Dig.
Uh-huh. That'll be, there's so many different things you can talk about, because Admiral Byrd supposedly found a civilization there with thriving greenery, that there was trees, grasslands, skyscrapers and all that. There are no-go zones over in Antarctica. I mean, you are limited so bad down there. There's a story of some scientists went to go check out this hole. When they come back, they weren't the same anymore. They're getting ready to send a rescue team in on them because they missed so many check-ins. And then when they did finally come back, they were just like zombies almost, because they were just totally different and blanked. All right, Ed's going to bring up another one we're going to try to watch here, and we're going to see what's going on, because the world of portals just has so many different possibilities. Now, we're going to show you some variety of things going on here that I think there might be AI generated. With the concept AI generation for videos, it's so easy to fake things nowadays. And this is a good possibility of AI fake. And if it is, tell me what you think. Now, we're going to see a lot of what looks like portals, rings in the sky. I mean, a lot of these do look like classic portals, okay, where things could go in, come out. Especially that one there. I mean, it looks like you got something coming out of it, and then there's the waves, the color. I mean, it's just way out there. The amount of overload I'm seeing, or people are supposedly experiencing in our skies. I mean, I don't know what to tell you about it. I mean, I'm bamboozled. I don't know what to tell you about that. I mean, what do you think, Ed? I mean,
I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know how you make a sky like that dark, how it was in that one. The first few kind of, it looks too good.
Yeah.
But that last one was like, hold on. It's like an opening.
Yeah.
And I guess that's just opinion, but if you've ever seen one before, like if you've in person, I've seen one, and then you watch a video like that, I think that's the only way that you can make, a qualified decision on that kind of situation.
Really?
Because there's a lot of, what's the word?
Fakes?
Well, no, there's a lot of loose ends.
A lot of
if they are real, there's a lot of loose ends, because there's certain people on this planet who know about these things but never said about these things, and they got some splaining to do. You know what I mean?
They got to open up about this stuff. I mean, it's well past time to stop hiding the information.
Yeah, the Warren report, the JFK stuff, that's going to be out. There's a lot of stuff.
Whether it's political, science, religion's going to be the big one.
Well, we need the Manhattan Project too. We need to know about, like, there's, if it's CIA, OSS, whatever it is, there is something documented somewhere, somehow.
Yeah.
And as long as it didn't get to the big three, ABC, NBC, CBS, as long as they never got a hold of it back then, everything's fine.
Yeah.
But we have retained all these things.
Right.
And we are in a current federal administration who likes to scan and release.
Yes.
They scan them and they release them. Guess what? A lot of it's not redacted. So we will find out, some of the things that have happened before, whether consequential or not, but it's going to either
the truth will be set free.
It'll gain trust with the authorities placed above you, or it'll make you question everything that you've heard.
Right. All right. What else we got that we can try to show for our folks here? Let them ask questions. This is another ring, but I don't know. It looks very real, but also reminds me of a soap bubble in a way. Like someone blew up a big soap bubble and they're playing at night or during the day. But that one looks like a legitimate ring. That could be a sundog. A sundog is a halo that is created by a sun effect. Now that there looks like it could be a genuine halo, a portal, because you got something going into it. I mean, you see the smoke going into it, but you don't see nothing on the opposite side of it. That one, to me, seems like it could be a good portal. Some could be sundogs. Some could be actual. This one here was really interesting. It looks like a portal leading into fire, or I hate to say it, hell, originally, because of all the flame and the smoke around it. A lot of this, I don't know. I mean, it is mind consuming. Now that one is art. Now here we're talking about Stargates. That one is, I don't know, folks. I really don't know what to tell you anymore. I just have to put it to y'all to make the decisions on: is it real? Is it CGI? Is it AI? I mean, but if you notice, in the last couple of years, more and more stuff's coming out. More and more people are seeing this stuff. More and more people are reporting this stuff. And it's not just because we have cell phones that can do this now with the photo capability. It's just like doors have been opening more for people to see the truth. Like we're being invited to see this truth come out. Now Ed's going to bring up another one here. We're going to see it. And we're going to look at it and go, okay, yes, no, maybe. Okay, this one looks like a genuine portal, but it also looks like a storm cloud. I mean, maybe a portal? I mean, it's now that is, I believe, is an acrobatic team that flies using pyrotechnics from the rear of their aircraft, if I remember right. But I could be wrong. There is an aircraft team that flies that looks like Flying Sun.
Angel Fire. They throw it out to deflect heat-seeking missiles.
Yeah, but they do it consistently. Now, I've heard about people seeing double suns, something similar to this apparently. Somebody took a picture of this and they caught two suns or two moons. People have seen two moons out there. Have you seen anything like that? If you have, reach out. Let me know. Here it goes, just a strange ball of light. But it's just, folks, let us know what you see. Share what you see with us. I mean, if you see a portal, you hear something strange. A lot of people hear the trumpets of Jericho sometimes, or strange noises with these things or smells, let us know about it. I think we've got one more left, and Ed's going to bring us up here, and we're going to take a gander at that. And then we're just going to talk a few minutes, and then I'm going to let y'all stew on this until next show, which will be in 2 weeks because I got to work next weekend. All right, here's another portal caught off of the side of a plane. It opened up in mid-flight. And, you know, I mentioned Flight 13 from the 1940s. Now, this is something that supposedly happened. It took the whole flight in, except it would have been massive to take all those 6 planes in. Now, that portal don't look too big, but look at it. It's just like it opened up to let something out or let something in, or somebody's just looking out. But you can't, I'm just looking. You can see through it. So it's just being a ring. It hasn't activated per se because you can't see what's on the other side. It's a clear portal, basically. It's just formed the ring, but it hasn't activated, it looked like. But I'm going to leave that for your thought. Now, did someone take an actual picture here? Or did they jimmy it up with their phone? With, AI program? Or did they CGI it somehow? I'm going to leave this for your thoughts. And I'm going to leave it for you tonight to think about. Are we seeing actual portals out here? Or are people playing with AI and baiting us with it to see what kind of responses we get? I'm going to leave that thoughts with you tonight. And let's just think about that. And then in the weeks to come, days to come, drop me a note. Let me know what you think. Tell me what you see. Tell me what you hear. Tell me what you want to know. Tell me what you want to talk about. And we're going to sign off here at this and stop it tonight at what are portals and where do they lead? All right, this is Norman and Ed signing off from Pickens, South Carolina with Beyond the Veil.